What's going on, everyone? It's Kami Sky, and I am guest uploading for Gearhart this week. Now, it does appear from coming back from PAX, he has caught some major PAX pox, so definitely show him some love. He'll definitely be back next week, but he did want to go ahead and get this video up for all of you. And so I've got his match here between Gearhart and Elliot. Now, just to talk a little bit about this matchup here, we've got Sylveon, Komao, Mamoswine, Bronzong, Titanol, and Excelgor. Like the Team Gearhart brought here, I think it's got a good core going on there. In terms of a solid Fairy Dragon Steel core, Mamoswine's just a beast. Pretty solid lead, in my opinion. But on Elliot's side, we do have the Mega Metagross. Hashtag banworthy. You got the killing machine that is Bose or Exploud, Clefable, Salamence, Pangoro, and Tentacruel. This is definitely going to be a really solid match. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here, so let's go ahead and go through it, and hopefully I can give you some light into what Gearhart's doing here. It does look like Gearhart did pick his team first, and Elliot is drawing it right down to the wire. All right, now Gearhart did speed this footage up for me to go ahead and get it sent over. So it is going to look a little weird getting sped up like this, but hopefully you don't mind. Now, Elliot does lead Bose as he leads Excelgor. Okay, probably trying to get a quick either final gambit off or a U-turn. I think it's a solid play. Love the name Jiraiya, by the way. Shout out to that. And so this is a real-time match, right? So this isn't going to be a replay, so there is going to be a bit of pause time in between each turn. Like I said, he has sped this up to like 200%, so it's moving pretty quickly, so you shouldn't have too much time in between each move. But I think either a good final game, unless he's saving this for something else, he's just going to U-turn out. Yeah, that's probably the better play. Bronzong is probably the safest switch into the Exploud. If it's defensive, it probably takes 40% from a Boom Burst if it's specs. Actually goes for the Fire Blast, and it does 70, 65. I'm going to say 60%. That is 60% after leftovers. Wow, that was a really solid read on Elliot's part. Bronzong can't stay in here. Most likely his best switch-in is going to be a Fire Resist or Sylveon. Goes into Coma, okay. Hopefully it's not a physical Como. I don't think he would have switched it in if it was, but I think it's a fair play going to Como here because it pretty much can revenge kill right here if it stays in. In terms of what's on Elliot's team, I'm not sure what he wants to bring in here. If he's predicting the Dragon-type move for Stab, he might go into Clefable, which he does, and the Flash Cannon comes out, does a solid 55%, which is a 2-hit KO. We do not see leftovers on Clefable, telling me it might be a Life Orb Magic Guard set. Very solid play on Gearhart's part, making some solid reads. And does Gearhart actually go for the read here and go for a Dragon Stab move, hopefully to get some more damage off, some big damage off on something else, or does he go for the Flash Cannon again? If not, I think Elliot has to make a switch here. He can't risk it unless he's going to protect, which would be odd on the Clefairy Wood that doesn't have leftovers. Xavier does go into the Metagross and does get hit by the clinging scales. Yeah, clinging scales. Some pretty good damage now that Steel doesn't resist Dragon, but that's not enough damage to for a Mega Metagross. And honestly, I don't see a solid switch in on Gear's team for this. Like, if this is an offensive like Mega Metagross, it's going to put a dent in something. And here comes Type Null. Okay, so bulky, probably physically bulky with the Eviolite, and that's exactly what this Type Null is. And that's what it does best, in my opinion. You maybe run a statusing move, maybe run U-turn, and then I always run Roar on it, personally. I think that's always a really solid set to prevent setups, because even at plus like 2 or 3, you're not one-shotting Type Null. So it's always like a fail-safe. Kind of like we use Chest Up Berry Explosion. But I think Type Null's probably going to either click U-turn here, protecting a switch, or either going to do that or probably click like Thunder Wave or a status type move. Type Null, I think, gets a good chunk of them, like Toxic and things like that. Goes into the Exploit. Okay, so it does get the T-Way off, and it does connect, which is really, really helpful. From a Specs Boom Burst, if this is a physically defensive Type Null, I think a Specs Boom Burst can kill from here. If not, it's going to be really, really close. And so I'm not sure if he wants to risk going back into Bronzong again, because Boom Burst just does so much damage. Exploit is absolutely a monster. So Type Null is going to go ahead and U-turn out and being faster after the para. Now, what does he go into? I don't have a. I wouldn't expect a solid switch into this. Like if unless it's he goes into Sableye. Okay, I'm sorry, Sableye. He goes into Sylveon, and that does not want to take another one of those. Now, Sylveon, this might be a spec Sylveon trying to get a hyper voice off. It actually protects. Okay, so it's not going to do that. We already saw leftover, so it wasn't specs. So it's probably a Wish Passer, Protect, Wish, and goes into Bronzong, and he does get parried, which is actually really good for Gear. Doesn't have to take unnecessary damage here. Might be able to get his Stealth Rocks up or something at this point. Definitely would need to make some kind of an advantage play here to push through the Exploud. And then Pangoro comes in. So he does go ahead and get his Stealth Rocks up. Really solid play mid-game here because both at 6 and 6, about 15 minutes into the game. Stealth Rocks is a really solid play at that point. Now, Pangoro actually pushes in a lot of his team. There's just not a lot that he wants to do. And he goes into Sylveon, take the knockoff. As we've seen in previous weeks, Pangoro does get Bullet Punch, which at this range, unless this is, at this range it doesn't matter. Offensive Pangoro's Bullet Punch kills at this range. And so Gear did let me know before this match started he forgot Bullet Punch was a thing. But it actually doesn't happen at that point. Okay. So Sylveon just goes for the Protect, trying to get a little bit more HP back. Sludge Bomb is going to pick up the kill, though. Okay. No, switches out, takes the Scald, doesn't get burned. Okay. So both players making some interesting reads here, trying to get a little bit of advantage. Pangoro is going to go ahead and come back in. And Bronzong goes for the Earthquake. Interesting coverage move to hit the Tentacruel. I'm not exactly sure how much that Earthquake does from a Bronzong to a Tentacruel. I personally expect not that much. And Pangoro is going to go ahead and pick up the knockout, drawing first blood as Como comes in. Now, Como can probably pick up the kill here. I'm not sure exactly what's going to want to switch into it again. Because, I mean, if he makes the read, because there's two Pokemon that could switch in here. Actually, just outright Flamethrowers. Pangoro lives the Flamethrower, crit Drain Punches, and gets almost all of that HP back. Okay. Pangoro does have the Life Orb too. Wow, that's really unfortunate. And so I believe this is the play Gear was talking about, where he switches in Sylveon into the Pangoro, forgetting that it does get Bullet Punch. There it is, and that does go and pick up the kill here. So Elliott in a really, really solid position. I believe we're at 6-3. Gearhart only having 3 Pokemon. Not exactly sure what he's going to want to do here, but he does finally bring out the Mamoswine. Now, Mamoswine is not going to want to take a Bullet Punch, but I know it can live at least one from Pangoro. Gets the Ice Shard, does not get the kill, and I believe that showed Mamoswine having the berry for the Bullet Punch, actually. So I don't know, like I said, this is the footage Gear sent me, and so I don't know which berry that was, but that might have been either a citrus berry or it might have been we'll find out in just a second, a berry to reduce the steel type damage. But I do believe outright Mamoswine has enough bulk to live a Bullet Punch. Definitely an uphill battle for Gear at this point. It is 5-3 at this point. Elliott just lost Pangoro, which did its job. It pushed in 3 or 4 of Gear's Pokemon. And so what comes in on it? And that's a pretty solid switch in on his part going into Xavier. It's going to resist the Ice-type move, but Mamoswine I don't think outspeeds. Yeah, there's no way it outspeeds Mega Metagross. This thing's just too fast. And at this point, we know it's not Scarfed, otherwise he'd be Scarfed into Ice Shard. And so it actually might be a Scarf Mamoswine switching out, going into Type Null, and this Meteor Mash is going to do a good 40%. Wow. From a Mega Metagross to a Type Null. That's still some really solid damage for an Eviolite user. Type Null having base 95 HP and defenses with Evial Light is very, very bulky. And here comes Bows. Okay. And so Chimera actually does use Roar. Mentioned that. I love that. I love that move on it. And Salamence does come out and take 25% from the rocks. It does look like it's an odd amount of HP just based on where that bar is at. But Type Null is one of those Pokemon that, yeah, it has the Thunder Wave and it has the Roar, but it's not an offensive Pokemon. It's not a win condition by any means. It's a safety. It's like a safety net. And so at this point, he's just going to go right back into Bows. I'd probably click Roar again. He clicks Thunder Wave. Unfortunate at that point, but Bows is going to probably be able to get off a solid Boom Burst here, pick up a kill on something. A lot of Pokemon communities have Exploud ranked Tier 4, and I 100% still agree that's a mistake. I believe this Pokemon just has way too much damage output and goes for the Crush Claw. Okay. And this Boom Burst is 100% picking up the kill here, as it does. Very interesting, and not a lot of switch-ins. I believe Como is gone, so the Excelgor comes in. Okay. Not sure what kind of attacking moves it might have. I know we've seen U-turn on it. Generally, it's either like a Focus Sash, U-turn, Final Gambit. Try to think of the other moves that it actually runs. Not too familiar with the tier that Excelgor comes from, but it has Sludge Bomb. Okay, so it's a mixed set, not bad. Goes and picks up the kill on Bows. Now, Mecha Metagross pretty much comes in here. Excelgor does not have that high of base HP, so if it does happen to have the Final Gambit, it's not going to be enough. But not exactly sure what the switch in here is. I think Mecha Metagross is probably the safest one to come in and go ahead and check this bug. Mr. Ninja. Flowing into the wind. Just looking at those little flappy things, like flappity, 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 flappity. Elliot really taking some time for this move. As comes in a Tentacruel. Okay, so Tentacruel's pretty much at max HP, so that's not awful. I think that's a really solid play on his part. Now, what does he do here? Honestly, he probably just Scalds. Unless Excelgor is pure Bug type, then you Sludge Bomb because it's super effective damage. But being 4-2 right now, Elliot's in a really, really solid position with an almost max HP Mega Metagross in the back to clean everything up, as well as a Salamence. I believe Sludge Bomb would pick up the kill here as well, unless it's Focus Sashed. Love the way Shiny Tentacruel looks. Both players taking time for their moves here, and so it does look like a Z move is coming out from Gearhart. Going into the Excelgor. What Z move is this? Acid Downpour. So that is going to be resisted. That's not going to do a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, maximum 35%. Sludge Wave's going to come off here. And actually doesn't pick up the KOs. That might be a Bug Poison type. I think it was because it was neutral. I love that look to left to the right. Excelgor does go ahead and switch out here. Goes into the Mamoswine to take the Scald. Ooh, does he get burned? No, it just outright kills. Okay. So Mamoswine goes down there. Very, very unfortunate. At that point, only having 2 Pokemon, I don't know what he thought Excelgor was going to do for him by switching. Not 100% sure there. I do believe Gear is down to his last Pokemon here. Or he may have 2. Yep, this is his last Pokemon. And so, let's look like it's going to be a 4-0 victory in Elliot's favor. Not exactly sure what Excelgor wants to do here after also using a Z Crystal. At this point, it's irrelevant without the damage from Black Sludge being recovered. But I definitely think there was some good preps on both sides here. I think there was just a couple plays where both players making reads, and a couple reads got the other player. I think Elliott just has an overall one of the stronger teams here. See, Giga did almost as much as your Z move. And so Sludge Wave is probably not going to be able to pick up the KO here. Okay, it does pick up the KO. So good game to Elliott here. I think it was a very solid match between both players. Just some of the advice I'd give is just a little bit more team prep, maybe a couple more play testing, just to see a little bit more of the threats on your team. I know Gearhart prepared the best that he could, being after PAX, also being a little under the weather. So shout out to Gearhart giving me the opportunity to go ahead and do this for him. Definitely have all of his links, like and subscribe, everything down below, and we're going to catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.